Alright, what's up everybody? I'm back. GTA 6 will rival Hollywood. Here's why. Let's get
When
into
you
it.
think about some of the greatest story moments of all time, you're usually thinking of films, the big cinematic moments, massive performances, and those really emotional scenes. And you don't usually think of video games. But GTA 6 is definitely going to change that. And in this video, I'm going to explain why GTA
Yep.
6 is genuinely going to compete with Hollywood, not just in scale, but in storytelling. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. Let's dive.
I really hope that's the case. Imagine just like being in your room or like your PC office setup, like I know some guys have that. And then you don't have work to go to. So you just get to just play this and fully immerse yourself into the world. That's the type of life I want. I want that freedom, bro. Trying to escape that 9 to 5 clutch.
So Rockstar already operates at this level. So the first thing I just want to say is that Rockstar have been operating at this level for years. And Red Dead Redemption 2, which is my favourite game of all time, wasn't just a good game, it was fully acted, directed, scored, and a proper experience that had cinematic structure. And it had brilliant pacing, great character arcs, and amazing dialogue. And even the way certain missions were framed, it all felt intentional in the same way a big budget film does. But that was back in 2018. And GTA 6 is coming now after years of development in performance capture, animations, lighting, and facial technology. And Rockstar doesn't just write cutscenes and stick them between gameplay. They build scenes with proper staging, proper camera work, and proper emotional beats.
Yep, and don't forget to mention the fact that cutscenes are not pre-rendered; they're real time. I feel like pre-rendered cutscenes are for like low quality type games because when it transitions from the cutscene to the gameplay, you can see the difference in quality. Usually, the bit rate, the resolution quality of the video, the pre-rendered what do you call it? The pre-rendered cutscene. You can see how low quality it is compared to the game. One game that I really had this issue with was Injustice 2 Mobile. Like they literally use the console cutscenes, and you can see the quality of the video that it's low. But obviously the console cutscenes are more realistic with the graphics, and then it just switches to the mobile gameplay, and you're like, wow, that's so jarring. But I guess they didn't want to have to animate any of that stuff, so they just ripped it from the
And when
game.
you look at the trailers alone, you can see that
The console version, that
the
is.
way the shots are composed, the way the characters look at each other, the pauses between lines. It's not accidental, it's direction. And that's why this isn't a stretch. Rockstar has already worked at film level, and GTA 6 is going to be the next evolution of that. And what makes this more important is the fact that Rockstar have never rushed storytelling. They don't just chase what's popular in the cinema at the time, they build their own tone and stick to it, which is exactly what the best directors do. And that consistency in vision is what separates blockbuster films from the rubbish, forgettable ones. And Rockstar already operates in that same lane. So we got performance and character depth.
Yeah, I can honestly say I really enjoyed GTA 5's storyline. It was very satirical, and the commentary was always on a modern day, morally bankrupt, and the corrupt capitalist consumer culture of America. That's pretty much what the story felt like. Like there are times I would be playing like a mission, and the waypoint would be in front of me or nearby, and I'd stop the vehicle just because I wanted to hear the dialogue between Trevor or Michael or Franklin or whoever's talking. Because obviously if you get to the waypoint, then it's gonna cut the dialogue off and then proceed to the next stage in the mission. I would actually stop the car because I was that interested in their conversations.
So one of the biggest differences between just games and cinema is the performances themselves. So in film, everything relies on believable acting, facial expression, tone of voice, and the subtleties. And if that's not convincing, the entire thing can fall apart. And Rockstar's already proven that they get this. So Arthur Morgan worked because of the performance. You got the subtle changes in his voice across the story, the way his posture changed depending on his health, and the way conversations didn't feel robotic or overly scripted. And now we move on to Jason and Lucia, and from what we've seen already, there's definitely nuance there. You can see the emotion in their faces, and you can see the tension in even those little exchanges that we've seen. But Hollywood relies on actors to carry scenes, and GTA 6 is looking like it's going to do the exact same thing. And the difference now compared to older games is we've got to the point where the technology just doesn't get in the way anymore. And these performances can genuinely compete visually and emotionally with film level acting. And because this is interactive, the performances don't just live inside the cutscenes, they carry on through the gameplay. Or the way the characters move, the way they react during missions. and even the way they speak during the
Yeah, and even this shot of Jason just like pulling out his weapon, this feels like a movie. This feels like some
driving sections,
CGI
it's all
movie.
just going to add layers that film just couldn't do over a couple of hours. And it's definitely going to be really, really interesting to see just how far Rockstar can go with this. Then we've got the world building and the atmosphere itself. So a lot of films rely on world building to make the story hit harder. If you think about crime dramas, the setting's usually a character within itself. The atmosphere, the background details, they make everything just feel grounded. Rockstar are masters at this. And Leonardo doesn't just look like a backdrop for missions, it definitely looks alive. There's so much going on within the world. It looks absolutely incredible. And it all just builds towards that atmosphere. And in the cinema, world building supports the story. And in GTA 6, the world isn't just supporting the story, it's interacting with it, which is just incredible to think about. And when you combine detailed environments with systems that react to what's happening, it stops feeling like you're watching a scene because you're actually inside it yourself. And that's something that Hollywood just can't physically do. And obviously the key difference here is just scale over time. In a film, you might get a couple of hours of that atmosphere, but in GTA 6, you could spend dozens of hours just existing in that space.
Dozens of hours at the low end, but hundreds of hours realistically.
Soaking in everything from the weather changes, background conversations, random events, and the environmental storytelling. And that extended exposure just definitely makes the immersion just hit on a whole nother level. And the cinemas just don't have the runtime to be able to achieve that level. So set pieces and scale. So big films win people over usually with huge spectacle, big set pieces, massive scenes, explosions, high-speed chases, and just those huge moments that you want when you go to the cinema. But Rockstar have always delivered on that side. GTA 5 had those heists and the chaotic sequences, and Red Dead 2 had those town, with the shootouts and the cinematic train robberies that would rival anything you'd see within a Western film. GTA 6 just has more processing power, so there'll be more NPC density, more environmental interaction. So imagine those same cinematic moments, but with just much more realism, smoother animations, and more chaos happening naturally around you. And the difference here is you're not just watching it, you're controlling it. So Hollywood gives you the spectacle, but GTA 6 gives you the spectacle that you can actively participate in. And that's just a completely different level. And when you're the one triggering those moments, the tension can just feel way different. If a chase goes wrong, it's on you. And if a mission escalates, you were part of the escalation.
And then it's like sometimes you watch a movie and you see the protagonist or the antagonist or some other main character make a decision and you think, wait, why did they just do this or do that? And then it irritates you because you think to yourself, wait, they could have just done it this way and then things would have turned out more favorably. But it being a game and you controlling it, you can make those decisions now. I'm not saying anything particularly anything particularly groundbreaking here. So yeah, to add to what he said, you can make the decisions. Obviously, it's a game, you control it, but that's just something I felt the need to say because sometimes the decisions that characters make in movies really irks me. But then at the same time, if they did make all the right decisions, the movie would end a lot faster and it wouldn't be as interesting. So for plot purposes, they kind of have to mess up so they can fix everything.
And that just responsibility makes every set piece feel more intense than just passively watching a film and seeing all the scenes unfold. And for me, it's just going to mean that everything just carries that little bit more weight. Emotional investment over time. So here's where the game just starts to beat films hands down. So a film's got that 2 or 3 hours to make you care, and GTA 6 could have 40, 50, maybe I'm hoping even up to 80 hours of content. So when you spend that much time with characters, the emotional connection becomes way stronger because you've lived with them, you've controlled them, and you've made the decisions through them within the game. And obviously Arthur's ending hit especially hard because of the time investment. You weren't just watching him, you were literally playing as him. If GTA 6 can build the characters properly, the emotional moments won't just rival Hollywood. I can see them actually exceeding it because the attachment's just going to be much deeper. And you don't just observe the journey, you experience it. And that's something that films just can't replicate. And because you've invested all that time, the payoffs feel earned rather than just presented to you. And that's the key difference. When a film ends, you leave the cinema and then it's over. That story just stays there on the screen. But with a game like GTA 6, the story sits with you differently because you're inside it the whole time. You weren't just watching choices play out, you were part of them making those decisions. And even if the main story is linear, It's all about the way you move through it, the way you approach those missions, and the time you spend just existing in the world. It all builds that attachment. So when big moments hit, it doesn't feel just dramatic, it feels personal. And once storytelling becomes personal like that, it's where it really can genuinely start competing and probably even surpass what Hollywood can deliver. And because of all that work that you've put in, all those miles that you've driven, all the fights you've gone through, and all those conversations you're going to listen to, when something emotional happens, it doesn't feel scripted just for the impact of it. It feels like the natural conclusion of something you've already taken a part in.
You know, slightly unrelated, but I'm just in love with like the snow deformation in Red Dead Redemption 2 when your horse or you, the player, or even NPCs walk through the snow. I love that. I love just seeing it crush depending on where you walk. And then you could probably draw things in the snow depending on how you walk. I don't know, it's just very satisfying to watch.
So why this hits differently than cinema? So the final reason GTA 6 can definitely rival Hollywood is that it combines everything cinema does with doing something that cinema doesn't have, and that's interactivity. You get the cinematic direction, high-end performances, world-building spectacle, and the emotional depth, but you also get full control. So you move the camera, you decide how everything unfolds, and you exist in the environment rather than just observing it. And I think that definitely changes the intensity of every moment. And if Rockstar deliver on what they've already shown, I don't think GTA 6 will compare to other games. I think it's going to be compared to some of the greatest films of all time. And I don't think this is going to be in a good for a video game sense. I think it's going to be a genuine, real comparison. And that's why this conversation can even take place. Like, it was 10 years ago, it just wouldn't have been a realistic thing to speak about. But the gap between cinema and this interactive storytelling has just narrowed so massively. And GTA 6 feels like the project that could finally fully blur that line completely, where there's going to be no difference between watching a blockbuster and playing a blockbuster. So there we go. So when I say that GTA 6 could rival Hollywood, I'm not just talking about budget or the hype side of it. I'm talking about performance quality, cinematic direction, emotional weight, and long-term character investment. And Rockstar have already proven they operate on that level. And GTA 6 is definitely looking like the point where this all comes together. If they can get the execution right, we won't just be talking about one of the best games ever made. I genuinely think we'll be talking about one of the best storytelling experiences of all time. But let me know what you think.
I love this shot so much. It just looks so good.
Do you think that GTA 6 can genuinely compete with some of the biggest films out there? Or do you think that games are still on a different level completely? If you do enjoy the video, feel free to like and subscribe. Big thank you for all the love and support. You can catch me on all the socials, X, TikTok and Instagram. And we're about to hit 12,000 on X as well. And thank you for over 2,000 subscribers on here. And the X is Rockstation on X. And I'll see you for the next video.
All right, that was it. I do think the story is going to be pretty spectacular. And then with games, the story lasts so much longer. So the writing is intense. I can only imagine what it's like writing a story for a video game, particularly an open world one, particularly GTA. So let me see what these comments are saying real quick. I imagine there's not too many. 67. GTA 6 will be absolute cinema. It would be nice if you replied with like the meme. I think marketing is gonna start summer. Yeah. W Rockstation for keeping us all entertained while we wait for the release of GTA 6. W indeed. How many subs does he have? 2.32. Okay. He's doing his thing. To be honest, Hollywood is finished. I mean, what's there to watch? Remakes, old movies. You know, that's something. I don't know. It's a combination of things getting worse narratively, reboots, as he mentioned, which is what he meant by remakes. And then it's like, I don't know. I just feel like I don't have as much time. And if I did, I'm not finding anything that's interesting to watch. Or maybe it's because my attention span is getting worse and I'm not giving it the time I should to actually get into whatever genre of TV show or movie I'm watching. Alright, so Rockstar surpassed Hollywood with GTA 5 LMAO. I agree. Yeah, it's not an opinion, like literally facts. I'm replying to him. It's literally facts. It's not an opinion. They really did surpass Hollywood. Did I spell that right? I think I did. I didn't spell opinion right. All right, yeah. So, Hollywood has been craps for years. Yeah, that's facts. If they can tone down the satire and absurdity a bit, maybe you'll be right. I do like the BS of the how they make fun of modern day America though. So I don't want them to turn down the satire and the humor and the socio-political commentary on modern day America. But I just had a thought, and I'm rambling up for a good bit here. But just let me say this last part. I one thing I enjoyed, one show I enjoyed narratively, where it pertained to dialogue, was Rick and Morty and its follow-up spin-off, Solar Opposites. I really enjoy the comedy and how they joke about things, and then how they play off of a joke they made previously in the next dialogue. And I would love to see something like that in GTA 6. So with that being said, this was my reaction to GTA 6 will rival Hollywood. Hope you all enjoyed. I will see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.